Good morning, Councillor Thompson, committee members. As you can see, I'm not Tim McGuire.
Yeah, I'm just looking in
He's
amazement.
away,
Like,
so
you've changed. Good morning. Your name?
Good morning.
Please?
My name is Lily Chang, and I'm here on behalf of the members of Keep
Okay.
Local 79,
Welcome. Yeah.
which includes thousands of part-time youth workers, particularly in the Parks, Forestry and Recreation Division, who deliver services across Toronto. The crisis of youth unemployment and underemployment has become a common concern amongst unions, communities, and governments. So too has a concern for the rise of precarious jobs. It's for these reasons that Local 79 is deeply committed to advocating for good, stable jobs, especially for our young workers who are trying to build a life. A year ago, Local 79 wrote to the Economic Development Committee regarding the Youth Employment Action Plan to make clear our willingness to support and participate in the advisory committee's efforts. I'm disappointed to report that we have not been engaged once during this time to participate in the process. In fact, we were only notified about the city's own work-based learning pilot upon its implementation and after our members called us about it. I'm here before you today to tell you that we can make these programs better if we work together. Local 79 agrees with many of the recommendations put forward by the Advisory Committee. For example, the report identifies opportunities to align commitments in the Youth Employment Action Plan with other city directions, such as the city's poverty reduction strategy. A key component of creating good, stable jobs in the poverty reduction strategy is the development and implementation of a job quality assessment tool. This tool would position the city to better understand and apply good job standards to assure that decent wages, reliable hours, benefits, and career advancement are part of any job the city is involved in creating. The city has many roles it plays in creating jobs, but I want to focus on one role in particular, and that is of being an employer. The city, as the largest employer of youth in Toronto, can do more to provide career pathways for its own workers. Local 79 has over 8,000 members in its Parks, Forestry and Recreation Division, many of whom are youth who are working in part-time or seasonal jobs. These young workers used to be able to shift into full-time positions or move into other opportunities across the city once they finish school. Now the workers have been in these part-time arrangements for upwards 10 years and have difficulty accessing full-time positions. Interestingly, the report before you recommends advancing opportunities for youth by expanding youth leadership programming and integrating career navigation and awareness building into recreational activities for youth offered through PF&R. But before PF&R staff, who are members, are expected to expand youth career programs, the city needs to increase access to meaningful job opportunities with career path potential for its own youth employees. And here are some suggestions on how we can do that. Some of the job stagnation for our young workers are experiencing are due to the chronically high vacancy rates in the public service, with no comprehensive strategy to reduce those vacancy rates. Currently, there are 3,239 positions unfilled by the city, representing a vacancy rate of 5%, which is double the approved rate of gapping in most divisions. The city has an opportunity to address these high vacancy rates through youth employment strategies that provide job stability and career growth for youth already employed by the city, as well as opening positions to unemployed youth. As the city creates jobs for youth, it needs to show true leadership by providing good, stable jobs. I would submit that the 5-month placements provided to youth through the city's work-based learning pilot do not meet that mark. The city needs to make sure that such programs do not replace full-time opportunities or cut apart existing jobs to create multiple unpaid or low-paying jobs for youth. As well, some of the city employment opportunities being offered through the PAY program fall short of good, stable jobs. Senior program leader positions at TCHC recently listed on the PAY job posting site. They were part-time, temporary positions paying $12.70 an hour. The city can do better. The city can be a true champion in providing and supporting youth employment, and Local 79 wants to help. We want to work with you to explore options and participate in consultations to see if we can achieve better youth employment opportunities. Specifically, I ask that we be consulted on any ongoing divisional work plans and included as a stakeholder in the 2017 Work-Based Learning Symposium. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Councillor Carroll.
Yes, I was asking the question about whether or not we're tracking. We have some people in these programs went to work in HR, went to work in TESS itself, and the divisions you mentioned. Do they get work? Do they get work afterwards that's long-term? So it sounds like what you're saying is if they get work right here in the city afterwards, youth that are employed by the city now, they're in precarious contracts.
Well, we do have a lot of youth who, in the old days, before hiring freezes were implemented across many divisions, it was a matter of fact of finishing off a university or college, and our members, especially in recreation and aquatics, for example, I'm more familiar with, would apply for opportunities in police, in fire, in paramedics. We have other youth who graduate from programs in bylaw enforcement, in public health, for example, and it was a lot easier in those days to get a full-time employment job with the city. But with the hiring freeze that has been implemented in a number of years, it's been difficult. Our members are having a hard time. And we have our own young members who've been told by their supervisors that don't expect anything to come your way till at least 10 years. So that's anecdotal, but that's what they've heard from their management.
Right, right. So in economic development, we ask everyone who presents, are you providing real jobs, or are youth going to get long-term jobs? And then in budget committee, when we see a new position, we ask, is this temporary, before we say yes to it? Because here we want it to be full-time. When we get to the budget committee, we want it to be temporary, or you can't have it, General Manager.
Right.
Okay, I think I understand what you're saying. Thank you.
Thank you.
Further questions? A short one, but I think an important one from me. Artificial intelligence is everywhere replacing human labor. So why would the city or employers pay high wages with considerable benefits to new employees?
Well, there are some jobs that can be more easily taken over by artificial intelligence, but I would say that there's many jobs that our members perform that cannot be replaced by a robot. For example, the human services area, there are some things that people can do automatically on their own through a website, but there's nothing that can replace the face-to-face, one-on-one counseling, one-on-one mentorship that our members, for example, in TESS do every day. Nothing can replace the public health nurse who visits someone's home, vulnerable client's home, for example. Nothing can replace the recreation staff who lead and teach a lot of the program areas in Parks, Forestry, and Recreation.
Okay, thank you.